The Cleveland Cavaliers have been on quite the resurgence lately, following years of drought left in the wake of LeBron James' departure. A few years back, I made a video predicting that the Cavs were building something special, and at the time, it was seen as a bit of a hot take. Fast forward to today, and the Cavaliers are on track to be just behind the Golden State Warriors' historic 73-9 record from the 2015 to 2016 season. It's a remarkable turnaround that has the league buzzing. But what does this regular season success mean for their playoff prospects? In this video, we'll delve into how the Cavs have found their footing in the league, the key players and strategies that have contributed to this impressive performance, and what the postseason might hold for this rejuvenated squad. Could this be the years the Cavs finally reclaim their championship glory, or will they face new challenges in the quest for the trophy? Let's dive into the journey of the Cleveland Cavaliers and explore the potential outcomes for their playoff run. The easiest thing to point to is the Cavaliers' coaching change, going from JB Bickerstaff to Kenny Atkinson. So is that it? They changed the coaches and they succeeded? Wipe our hands of it and that's it? That's a wrap, guys. Video over. Well, not exactly. What does the coaching change really mean? Well, first things first, let's evaluate the difference in playstyles. JB Bickerstaff was a defensive-focused coach, believing that the team could succeed if they focused on defense. This idea has been held by many and will continue to hold as long as the math for it works out. Why try to win by 30 points when you can win by just 1 point by keeping your opponent from scoring? Bickerstaff also did a phenomenal job at accomplishing his goal. When he came in, the Cavaliers were 25th in defensive rating. The next year, they jumped to 5th. The year after, 1st in defensive rating. The only problem was that while their defense was increasing, their offense was beginning to fall, as well as their net rating as a result. Being 8th in offense and 2nd in net rating in 2022 to 2023, and dropping to 6th and 12th from 2023 to 2024. The whole point of the idea defense wins championships is because the job of the team simply becomes to protect the lead. But in order to protect the lead defensively, you first have to have a decent lead to begin with. The offense through Bickerstaff was essentially Donovan Mitchell, and that was it. That's where Atkinson shook things up. He went the opposite direction. By focusing on offense, the team jumped all the way to 1st in offense and 2nd in net rating. Quote, "The Cavaliers are 1st in offense, 2nd in net rating, and have the best record in the NBA. No one could have predicted this team would have been this good," wrote NBA analyst Jasmine Wimbish. But more simply than just telling the team to focus on offense, it's how he did it. Atkinson is great at pulling out natural talent and developing rosters that seem mediocre. He did it on the Nets before KD essentially kicked him out, which I discussed in another video. But coming to the Cavaliers, he's doing the same thing by developing these vastly underrated players, some of which already experienced it in Brooklyn as well, ironically enough. Atkinson makes every player on the team feel important, because they are. The bench players are just as important as the starters for Atkinson's teams, as he wants to instill this confidence in them. As a result, several different players are cited as the key to the Cavaliers' success. But the fact that no one can agree on one player proves that none of them are the key to the Cavaliers' success. They all are. This is similar to how Popovich used to coach the Dynasty Spurs, which again I've compared the Cavs to many times, and I also have a video diving into Pop soon. ESPN spells out Atkinson's so-called steps to success as 1. Play his roster. Atkinson has no problem playing his roster with no superstar talent like LeBron, Curry, or KD. He knows the true talent this team can bring out if they work together. 2. Unleash the offense. I already touched a bit on that, but Atkinson is letting the team develop their shot, with ESPN stating 2 years ago the Cavs ranked miraculously 8th in the league in offense despite being dead last in pace, 24th in three-pointers attempted, and in bottom half of the league in assist percentage. They ran a low-space, low-speed, old-fashioned offense that worked. Last season, ravaged by injuries, they slumped to 16th in offense, but their ball movement and pace improved. What if Atkinson thought he could get these same players on the right track already to improve even more in more impactful areas? And so all of training camp was spent encouraging speed, quick decision passing, and movement. Pass then move, move then pass, and whatever you do, do it fast. A lot of guys were going to play. Everyone, including franchise player Mitchell, was going to play less than before. So expend more energy in the minutes. This is a selfless team, and they have been since we got together, Mitchell said. Kenny has been phenomenal with us on it. He's continuing to trust us. Now the Cavs rank number 1 in the league in offense. They soared to number 7 in pace and might go higher. They lead the league in games played and haven't had consecutive off days yet all season, and it has shown in recent games. They are 3rd in total three-pointers and 1st in three-point percentage. While the Cavaliers were playing decent offense before, they had a slow pace because of their focus on defense. They weren't controlling the flow of the game, and other teams took advantage of that. By dialing the speed of the offense up to an 11, it made the offense better by simply making them faster and more commanding of the game rather than redefining players' shooting styles or plays. They just simply needed to play faster and more aggressive, being put into overdrive. They had been in the 20s for pace since Bickerstaff, and one year even dead last. Now, they're 6th in pace, showing the drastic change. Finally, step 3, a new role for Mobley. I could go on a whole rant about this point specifically, as a lot of my Cavaliers videos have been about Mobley's use on the team and how people are underrating him. But now it seems people are realizing that, so I'll dive more into the point later. Cleveland.com dives more into Atkinson's ability to simply build this confidence and playing ability in players that seem like bench warmers, saying, quote, "Instead of looking at the limiting factors for a player, I look, where's the growth area," Atkins said before Friday's game. Shooting a lot of times, it's confidence, so you're encouraging them to shoot the open ones, encouraging them to get down the court and have a let it fly mentality. I think players, it helps them a lot. Sounds simple, but Atkinson built a career on seeing players as blank canvases, then letting them hold the brush. Many coaches define roles and enforce them strictly. Atkinson outlines roles in pencil, lets players color outside the picture, and if they succeed, he redraws. If not, they learn their limits without necessarily losing minutes. Perfect example, Cavs forward Georges Niang, who made 4 out of 7 three-pointers Friday after missing 15 of his previous 18. Impatient coaches have cut playing time for less, but Atkinson coaxed more from Niang by granting the veteran grace. While starting for Evan Mobley, who missed Friday's game with an illness, Niang scored 14 points and grabbed 8 rebounds in 15 minutes. Kenny has done a great job of breathing confidence into guys where you don't feel like I have to make this shot, Niang said at Friday's shoot-around. It's more or less, I should enjoy the process of taking the shot, just this is my shot. And I think when you do that with people, it allows them to kind of relax their shoulders, breathe a little easier, and not wonder if they're coming out if they miss a shot. It's just a part of the game, and you're flowing. With this style of play, there needs to be one fundamental piece that the team utilizes to get things done: respect and trust. Atkinson has worked to build a relationship between himself and the players, as well as the players themselves. Of course, this isn't to discredit JB Bickerstaff, who has also tried to build a rapport with players, with an article stating, quote, "Ask any one of the players, he's truly a player's coach." Cavs swingman Karis LeVert said Thursday. LeVert added that Bickerstaff treats everyone the same, no matter if it's a 4-time All-Star like Donovan Mitchell or an end-of-the-roster player. 1 through 15, he holds everyone accountable, LeVert said. There's a lot of personalities and egos. As a player, you want someone to tell you the truth and hold you accountable. That's the number one thing that sets him apart from other coaches. However, Bickerstaff just doesn't have the same experience as Atkinson does. Atkinson learns of these type of building through Steve Kerr as an assistant on the Warriors, and Kerr learned it from none other than Popovich as well, who earned 5 rings, making a name for himself doing this exact type of thing. Quote, Kerr also impressed Atkinson with the team building exercises he implements. Birthday videos for players and fun activities during practices broke up the monotony of a marathon-like season. During Atkinson's first Cavs training camp, he held a trivia contest for players. He grabbed their attention Friday with a funny video to start a meeting. The intent is to keep the environment competitive yet joyful in his second crack at head coaching. In doing so, the players trust him and trust each other. They pass the ball and give opportunities to other members of the team. That same ESPN article states, "This is a selfless team and has been since they got together," Mitchell said. "Kenny has been phenomenal with us on it, and he's continuing to trust us," it continues stating. "I knew from the beginning that this was a group that liked each other and enjoyed playing with each other," Atkins said. "We have good passers and good connectors." I like that word, connectors. Ty is a good connector. George Niang is a good connector. Dion Wade is a good connector. So you've got major scorers and the guy around them that can pass the ball. And that's what you're seeing when the ball really moves. We know where to get it. We make good decisions. With this rapport built, the Cavaliers have built an indestructible team chemistry, and it all comes from the leadership of Mitchell. With this trust built between player and coach, Atkinson was able to coach Donovan Mitchell to take a dip in stats for the sake of the team and allowed the rest of the team to evolve. Quote, "By taking a step back, Atkinson meant playing fewer minutes and taking fewer shots per game. Mitchell is in his 8th pro season. He's playing 31.7 minutes, the fewest since his rookie season. His 23.3 scoring average and taking 18 shots a game are also his lowest total since the rookie season. None of this is an indication of a decline in Mitchell's game. It's part of a grand plan to improve others on the team and prepare Mitchell for the playoffs." End quote. Another article expands on this, simplifying, stating that Mitchell's new play style is less is more, and dives further into that statement, saying Mitchell, for his part, has played a central role in that early success, averaging 23.7 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. Yet, despite being a cornerstone player, Mitchell's traditional stats are mostly down on his previous 2 years with the franchise. There's a noticeable shift. Taking a step back, the wider pattern that appears to emerge is that Mitchell is doing less while the Cavs as a whole are achieving more. And again, that boils down to Mitchell's leadership. It's the leadership piece first. What does that look like? Great player, and he's already a great player. But us, we've had those conversations about being a great leader from an on-court perspective, Atkinson said ahead of the season start. This team chemistry is especially shown in moments like the Jazz game when Allen was benched. Many reports have come out stating that Atkinson was hired purely to unlock Mobley. Obviously, he's gone far beyond that, as we just discussed. However, he still has his primary job, which is to reach Mobley's ceiling. In doing so, he has to come up with certain rotations, and that may mean playing less of other big men like Allen, but it was handled well. Quote, "The decision to bench Allen down the stretch could have sparked tension on a less cohesive team, but in Cleveland's locker room, camaraderie prevails. I think when we have those situations, guys like Jarrett Allen's positions aren't always as excited, but to have a guy like Jarrett Allen be so selfless to continue to push and understand, that doesn't go unnoticed. I think people don't really notice that, but in the locker room, that doesn't go unnoticed." On top of everything else, the Cavaliers have a deep bench that is making strides. Darius Garland, just like Mobley, has been underrated for years, and under the new coaching is making a resurgence to show it. Wimbish goes on to point out how much of Cleveland's success has been due to the resurgence of Darius Garland and the massive step Evan Mobley is taking the offensive side of the floor. The Cavaliers also have one of the deepest teams in the NBA, which has helped them overcome injuries as they have emerged. Darius Garland is playing some of the best basketball of his career, and it's a huge reason why the Cavaliers are thriving. After a somewhat rocky 2023 to 2024 season, filled with trade rumors and underwhelming performances, Garland has bounced back in a big way. This season, he's back to being one of the league's elite playmakers and scorers. He's absolutely lethal driving to the basket, averaging 15 drives per game and converting a career-high 66% of shots within 4 feet. On top of that, his ability to mix things up in the paint, either finishing with a 71% success rate on floaters or dishing to Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen for easy buckets, has made him a nightmare for opposing defenses. From deep, Garland is torching nets. He's shooting 45.5 from 3, 93.2 from the free throw line, and even knocking down 55 of his mid-range looks, which are all career best. And while those numbers might seem unsustainable, Garland's shooting pedigree speaks for itself. Since the 2021 to 2022 season, only 8 players have a higher three-point percentage than 39.4. He's even sinking 40% of his shots from 28 feet or further, showing his range is basically unlimited. But what's really special is how his role has evolved. The Cavs have leaned more on Mobley as a playmaker, allowing Garland to become even more dangerous off the ball. He's attempting a career-high 3.3 catch-and-shoot threes per game and hitting them at a 49%, making him one of the league's deadliest shooters in those situations. And also, his defense is excellent. At 6'1", Garland isn't built to be a lockdown defender, but he's stepping up this season, applying more pressure on ball handlers and creating more steals, blocks, and deflections than ever before. Even his teammates are noticing the change. Quote, "His defensive effort is the biggest thing," Donovan Mitchell said. Like 34 points? Yeah, he does that. But sliding his feet, getting to the right spots, those are the things we feed off of. Garland has also been clutch. In games where the score is tight within the last 5 minutes, the Cavs are undefeated at 7-0, thanks in part to Garland's incredible efficiency under pressure. He's 7th in the NBA for clutch shooting 12 for 15 in those moments with just 1 turnover. Put it all together, and the advanced metrics back it up. Garland is firmly in the conversation as one of the top 15 to 25 players in the league this season. His 21.2 points and 6.8 assists per game on ridiculous efficiency, 49.9 field goal, 42.4 3-point, and 90% free throw make him a serious contender for another All-Star appearance. Off the court, Garland's work ethic has been a key to success. Mitchell highlighted how Garland has grown in his recovery habits, spending time in the weight room and taking care of his body. Quote, "He's always been talented, but now he's locked in on those little things, and it's showing on the floor." With this level of play, Garland is not just a cornerstone for the Cavs' present, but also their future. He's already cracked the top 3 of Cavs' all-time assist leaderboard, and his chemistry with Mitchell and Mobley is driving Cleveland towards a legitimate contention. As Garland's backup Ty Jerome summed up, "I think he should just be an all-star starter, and we call it a day." To end things off, team chemistry is everything, and that came from Popovich. Another article simply states the Cleveland Cavaliers have the best team in the NBA. They might not have the most talented roster or the most prominent players, but they have the best team. That's why they have the best record in the league. It might seem cheesy or cliche to say, but the Cavaliers simply have more heart than other teams, just like the old school Spurs did. Quote, "Cleveland has improved from within. There are still questions about their ability to sustain their success, but the Cavaliers have found ways to win as a team." NBA insider Sam Amico recently spoke out about the team, and he thinks Cleveland is more connected as a team than any other that he has seen. "I've never seen a group this connected, whether it's in the locker room or on the floor, supportive of each other, with great energy." With that being said, I look forward to the Cavs' success this year, as again, I called it years ago, and I see the connections to the Spurs, and it makes me happy to see team basketball played once again. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you did, I upload every Thursday, so be sure to subscribe for more, like, share the video around, comment, all that good stuff. We're trying to hit 25K by the end of the year, hashtag 25 for 25. And with all that, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.